already had enough taken from us, and we already had altered identity as a result of dealing with them. The little identity that we have left, we don't need to submit that for anything. You know what I'm saying?
So did you guys see the Piers Morgan thing?
No.
You sent it to me. Yes, you sent it to me yesterday, but I only watched a little bit. I can only take a little bit of Piers Morgan, and then I told you what part I had stopped on.
Oh yeah. We should actually take a look at this.
All right, go ahead, run it.
If you guys want to. You guys want to?
Yeah, I got a little bit of time. I got at least like 10 more minutes.
Okay, cool. You down to check it out, Torian?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Check this out. So initially right here, it says, is the Tyre Nichols killing racist? I mean, like, why do y'all think they keep asking that same question?
Because it was black cops that was involved.
Yeah, and they want to spin the narrative that it's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? Just so like whenever we get back to regular scheduled programming of Mzungu's doing it, they can say, hey, those 5 black guys did it, so it wasn't racist when they did it, so it's not racist when we do it.
Yeah, I agree. So there's this guy named Zuby, and I'm just curious if anybody in the comment section is familiar with Zuby, but you guys will see what I'm talking about.
Black Lives Matter organizer and activist Iman Hayden, the rapper and podcaster Zuby. Welcome to both of you. Iman, I don't get this narrative at all that is coming out. It's been coming here from people as well, that somehow this is all about racism and white supremacy. It's not. It's about 5 poorly trained, thuggish black police officers.
That's the part right there, Rob.
A black man.
I was just gonna say that.
That was the part right there where I stopped. I didn't go past that.
Okay.
As soon as he said thuggish, I was like,
we knew what he was talking about. And
yep.
Has Piers Morgan ever said that about any, like a white cop? I never heard him say that.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
Yeah, on a side note, this struggle streaming stuff is so comfortable. Got the phone up vertical, looking goofy. Like, this is comfortable.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's the life.
I got to struggle stream like this more often. Like,
bro, it's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Struggling is a lifestyle.
I said Piers is just mad because Meghan Markle wouldn't pay him any attention.
Right. Big facts. He got a real weird obsession with Meghan Markle. It's really kind of sickening. You know what I'm saying?
Does he still talk about
it? It kind of gives you a Thomas Jefferson, Sally Hemings type of thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me stop. It just amazes me how like Piers Morgan is like sitting there acting like he has no idea what's going on, and then like people like Zuby just get under my skin. People like Zuby just get under my skin. Like people like them make things so much more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just ridiculous.
And you did nothing to deserve it. That's it.
Okay, so I just have to start with saying that the video was absolutely disgusting. One of the worst videos I've ever seen in my entire life.
And it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it was disgusting. There was 2 versions of it: the body footage, and of course the pole from across the road. Absolutely disgusting. So I'm absolutely horrified at the fact that, of course, it was 5 black people. But for me personally, this is about an abuse of power and a disregard of human life, and those individuals need to be accountable for their actions. That I need to.
Don't disagree. What's it got to do with racism and white supremacy?
So
why are white people responsible for this?
Okay, so people could also argue.
Well, Piers, if you would let the woman talk, my goodness.
Right. Right. Again, like that's that whole separation thing. So like it to me is interesting how they never even ask about a separation. Like, well, you know, like, are you saying white people are responsible or are you saying white supremacy is? Notice how they never say that. Why do you guys think that is?
That's the same thing of them saying. It's funny you mentioned it because he was talking about it today when we was on the Whoopi Goldberg topic. You know how the people, them folks, keep trying to say they're different from white people,
right?
But they're white themselves,
right? Exactly. Yeah, it's just all of these mental gymnastics is just bizarre.
But they'll be quick to lump us all in a box, though. If we try to say, "Oh, we're foundational Black Americans," and someone else, says that they're not, or that they're not, then they'll be quick to lump us all. That's why I keep telling people: if you are foreign or you are non-foundational Black American, when you come into the United States of America, North America, the country that sits between Canada and Mexico, you are now under the umbrella of nigga.
But yeah, I mean, basically
based on what they say.
Right.
Well, I'm Hebrew Israelite, so I'm not Black.
This dude, wow. You know what I'm saying? That all them Kyrie and Kanye commentaries done messed up this dude head. You know what I'm
saying? Don't call me Black. Just like you can call them folks white, don't call me Black. I'm Hebrew Israelite.
I'm just here to make you think, right?
Period.
Yeah, don't call TD Black. Period. Period.
Hey, Rob, not to shift gears, but I'm still laughing at that person's name you was saying the other day. You know what I'm talking about? I was in the chat cracking up. I could barely type.
Shit, yeah. Shit. This dude's last name was Shit. So like every time like I would read his name, I'd be like Shit. That's hilarious, man. This dude, man, I heard. Stop messing with the Hebrew Israelite identity, TD. You said you identified as a furry yesterday when we talked.
Right. Nah, I'm Hebrew Israelite, man. I'm Hebrew Israelite. I'm not Black. Don't call me Black no more. I think honestly, Kendrick said that in his song. Don't call me Black.
You said you was furry yesterday. Period. That's hilarious.
I'm just here to make y'all think, man.
I'm just here to make you think.
Internalized racism, which is a byproduct of societal or institutional racism, also referred to as white supremacy.
So, Black police officers become white supremacist racists who kill Black people because they work in an atmosphere of white supremacy. Is that it?
I can explain it a little bit better. Okay, so anti-Blackness is baked into society here and in the US, and Black people are not impervious to that. And so what people fail to realize...
So Black people are anti-Black?
Yep.
Yeah, he refused to let her cook.
And why can't he understand about Black people being anti-Black? Isn't that when white conservatives call out white liberals, they call out white liberals as sellouts and anti-white. So like this dude, he can't conceptualize that.
Yeah, the look on her face told it all. Like I could read body language very well, and she was like, "I know this dude is not trying to do the Jedi mind trick on me."
He is. That woman seems like she's pretty smart. You know what I'm saying? She got this under control. You know what I'm saying?
He probably knows that she is.
That's why he keeps cutting her off, because every time she about to cook, he's like, "Oh, so you're telling me like she didn't tell you nothing yet? You keep talking."
Piers Morgan is literally the what's his name? Is literally the Tucker Carlson of Britain.
Yeah,
I was getting those what's my man's name again? Bill O'Reilly vibes.
Oh, Bill O' wife beater.
Yeah, Bill O' wife beater, man. Real quick, y'all, if y'all haven't hit that like button, man, hit that like button. Also, make sure you guys share the video out, and also make sure you guys give TD and Torian a sub. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go over there and check out their content too.
Oh, before you hit the play button, I gotta throw that on a soundboard. Like, I know y'all seen that old like Bill O'Reilly clip from like the 80s or something when he was tripping on the hot mic. He was like, "F it, we're going live. We're going live."
Nah, I never seen that, but that would be dope on the soundboard though.
You never seen that? Have you ever seen that, Torian?
I never seen it.
Oh man! All right, well I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna show like the actual video on on Thursday's stream, but then I'm gonna throw it on the soundboard. I can't believe y'all never seen that.
Yeah, that only went on in the TDCU, the TD Hip Hop Media Comic Universe. You know what I'm saying?
So let me explain it, Piers. So what people fail to realize is that when Black people have to contend with racism, they can end up internalizing it. And that can result in low self-esteem, self-loathing, and rejection of one's community. And when you combine those feelings, which as we know are also referred to as unconscious bias, when you have those feelings and they are compounded by hierarchy and power, it can lead to an individual abusing said power and projecting their self-hate onto another. And this is why, in my opinion, why we see Black and white police officers killing more Black people than we do white. Reason why is because of racism, which includes internalized racism, Piers.
Right. I think that's complete nonsense.
You would, because you're a white man and you don't understand.
Exactly. I'm white. My skin colour means I have nothing to do with it.
She got him with that one.
And see if he's allowed to have a view. So what's your view?
Yeah, she did. Y'all want to elaborate a little bit?
And I mean, just the accent alone is what really killing it. Exactly, because you're a white man, you don't understand.
That's hilarious. Look at Zuby. He got the dead eyes. He's ready.
And that's why I said, I had put on Twitter, I said, dear Black people, stop arguing with PC when it comes to racism. What's going on right here is exactly what I'm talking about.
Facts.
Because whenever that topic comes up, they put a barrier up so high that it's probably literally knocking on them golden gates.
Yeah,
it's that high up and it's thick. So that's why I say don't try to like argue with them about it. That's why I'm trying to get into a calm place when it comes to dealing with these trolls, because I saw somebody did a video yesterday about the Coonstress and how her and Fakem pretty much use the same script when it comes to their talking points. And I had said how people like them didn't even offer condolences to Tyre Nichols' family or even say RIP. And then someone came up in there talking about, oh, you just mad because she's telling the truth. I said, the urge to want to respond to that, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I saw that video too. Yeah.
Look at Zuby looking like a strong warrior for white supremacy.
That's what I said. Yeah, man, he got the dead eyes.
I can't wait to come in and rescue Lord Morgan. You know, like, geez.
I thought of Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he ready. He looking like the Coon 5000, like. You know what I'm saying? Like. Coon 5000. Coon mode activated. You know what I'm saying?
When you run after you, he be doing that run like the little dead, like the T1000 run, for like 2 minutes, put his hands like this.
Chasing after a butter biscuit. He got them MKKK ultra eyes.
Okay, so I agree with the first half of everything that was said there. I agree that the video was disgusting. I agree that this is an issue of training, and I agree that this is an issue of the human heart. I think that any attempt to put the blame on this in any way, shape, or form on racism or white supremacy or white people in general is absolutely ridiculous. I also think it's pretty degrading because this sort of idea stems from the notion that Black people, Black men, Black women, that we do not have full agency and responsibility and therefore accountability for our actions and our words.
That's not true at all, because nobody said that they weren't guilty of committing a crime. They're saying that the crime was influenced heavily by a culture of white supremacy. You still make the ultimate decision. Nobody's saying that absolves them of guilt. We're just saying where it came from, and Zuby understands that.
Also, what I found to be interesting too is that how Piers Morgan and this Zuby character, who like you had to inform me about who he was yesterday, so this is my first time actually really listening to him, is how they will say that this is not stemming from white supremacy, but if there was 5 white cops involved in this, they'll say that it wasn't white supremacy as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. And who wrote the policy book? Who wrote the training manuals?
White people.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there you go. You know what I mean?
The concept of policing stemmed from slave catching, so I don't even know what, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. There's that too. Yeah. Super facts. You know what I'm saying? And so like this just shows like the intellectual dishonesty. So like this is one of the reasons why like and I agree with what Torian was saying about to me it's not even worth a discussion. Like it's not even worth wasting your time. Like I would, unless like somebody was paying me an ungodly amount of money to just go on to somebody's show or go on a stream or go on a TV interview and just embarrass somebody, other than like if there wasn't any kind of incentive like that, I don't really have any kind of desire to even entertain that kind of conversation with people who I know are invested in purposely not trying to make any kind of headway. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I agree. I'm right there with you. That's like when people used to tell me in the comment section of my videos, they would be like, oh, like you should like go and like debate Officer Tatum. You know what I'm saying? And or you should go debate like a Candace Owens or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They would always bring up like another black conservative person. Like I don't know why I was getting a lot of that like a year or two ago. You know,
they want to be entertained.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's entertaining, I guess. You know what I mean? But it was just they would say that, and it's just like, why? It's a waste of time. It's for what? You know, it doesn't accomplish anything. Like unless they got a bag for me, I'm good. You know, I'm good. I can't sit in front of somebody and just listen to them be disingenuous like for an hour. Like I'm all right.
Do you guys remember did y'all see Chronicles of Riddick?
No,
it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Do you remember how Chronicle of Riddick, or how Riddick, when he was leaving out of the Coliseum, he was like, "Nah, I don't have any beef with you guys, but I will take a crack at him. He's got my knife sticking out of his back." And then he beat the crap out of that dude, killed him, and took the knife back. Mm-hmm. See, if they had a lineup of coons, I would be like, nah, I ain't got no beef with these guys, but I do want to crack at that guy. And it would either be like Matt Walsh or Ben Shapiro or something like that. Because, you know, like it's just like sports to them. Like they just want to see you going back and forth. And like those black conservatives are so silly. They don't even realize that they're just looking at it for the arena aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I forgot that I have access to like certain things on here. Like I put DSB on the screen on accident. I just tapped on it and it came on the screen. I said, "Oh,
look, this dude up here experimenting around in my StreamYards." Yo, make sure you guys show some love. Throw some radiation emojis in the chat for DSB. DSB says, "Is that Van Jones' little brother on the screen?" It looked like Van Jones' brother.
You gotta ask yourself, how hard can he cry?
Right. How hard can you cry, bro?
End up in these ridiculous situations where no matter the permutation, no matter what happens, even if there's not a single white person involved in the situation, in the Memphis police force, even the police chief is a black woman. The large percentage of the force is black, and people are still trying to lean on this white supremacy is the answer and the reason for everything. And honestly, it's lame. And as someone who's lived my entire life as a black male, certainly I've never been possessed by this sort of phantom of white supremacy that's made me want to attack anybody, let alone another black person. And I think that we need to put the blame and responsibility squarely on the individuals who were involved in this.
I completely agree.
It's tragic that this young man died.
I completely agree. I mean, just to note some...
On a side note, because like, you know something that me and Rob was about, hey, pause the video, Rob.
And look at that. Spazzing out over there.
That's what people be doing on panels, don't they?
Yeah, they be flipping.
Just flip it out.
It triggers a YouTube little thing. They say, "Oh, we see a little blip on the radar. It just kind of went up a little bit. Let's see what they're talking about."
Right.
No, you know, I was just thinking that I gotta run, because you know yesterday when we was talking, what's that chick from Australia that moved to the US? What was her name again?
Sydney Watson.
Sydney Watson, right? Like how she was living in Australia, but had a whole YouTube channel like talking about like all what she doesn't like about America, all things that's going on here. And then she eventually moved here. And then I'm thinking about like they're in the UK, but like talking about this, you know? So like, I don't know, just on some YouTuber type stuff, like how lucrative would it be to like actually cover what's going on in the UK? You get what I'm saying? Like, but we here in America. You know what I mean? Like, does that you think it would translate the same, or nah, it wouldn't translate the same?
Nah, I don't think so. And the reason I don't think it could possibly, depending on what kind of thing it was, but like all the other places in the world like watch the United States because like we set the pace for the rest of the world. Like I don't think anybody is really checking for the UK all like that. They might be like in certain aspects, but like I don't think that I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, there's not really like they don't have the same gun issues. The things don't get expedited as far as like through the media as quickly in the UK. They've got different issues, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much of a market there would be for people's interest in what goes on in the UK here in the United States. I'd be willing to play with it though, because like honestly, I like international news, but I don't know how that would transfer across people other than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now that makes sense.
What do you think, Torian? You think people would be interested in what's going on in the UK or not?
Probably not, and clearly they aren't either, and they're over there.
That's a great point. That's a great
And I found it interesting that he said he called white supremacy a phantom, as if it doesn't exist,
right?
Because it didn't affect him. I said that's who it needs to touch.
Which
then
it actually
see how real it is.
Right, which it actually has affected him because that's what got him talking like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but I gotta hop off the stream, but I'll get up with you guys later.
All right, for sure, bro. Good looking calling in, man.
All right, for sure. Peace.
All right, bro. Peace. He just muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to like leave out properly. Like how do I just leave the stream? If I cut off the phone, I guess it'll just go off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you restart it, you can never go wrong restarting the phone.
Right. I guess. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm out.
All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, we got the For Real struggle stream popping off. People can't figure out how to get in and get off. Like it's lit. It's authentic. You know what I'm saying? It's authentic struggle time. You know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Shoot. There we go.
Our population is black. 58% of the entire police force in Memphis is black. The police chief was a black woman, right? And so on and so on. So you take all that in totality, you think, well, okay, well, where is this institutionalized white supremacy coming from, given the institution is actually served predominantly by black people for a population that is predominantly black as well? So I don't get that point. The second point I make is this. I think there's a wider issue here. The demonization of the police in America, calling them all a bunch of vile racists, has led to many older, experienced, good police officers who are not vile racists quitting the force all over the country. And as a result, in Memphis, for example, they had a massive reduction, 20% between 2011 and 2017 of police officers. 20% went from the force. And so to try and restore the numbers, they made it easier to become a police officer. They reduced the restrictions, reduced the qualifications.
So now he's coming with the Larry Elder argument.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, if you come with the Larry Elder argument, that's like talking to another white supremacist.
Right.
They basically, it's almost like they become bosom buddies at that point.
Yeah, that's
this exactly. This is the same guy that I did a video on, was it yesterday, the day before, who said that Black Americans don't deserve reparations, but 2 years ago he said that the slave owners who did have slaves deserved reparations, as if you could not Google that and see that actually happened.
Right. I was about to say, didn't he say something crazy like that white people should get reparations?
Like, yeah, he said that the slave owners who lost property, but when slavery got abolished officially, that they should have got reparations. And he was like, they did though. They did compensate them.
Right. Yeah, they absolutely did. And then there were a small amount of things that were given to some slaves, but they robbed them and stole all of that stuff back.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bruh, you don't know any of this history? You know what I'm saying? Like,
apparently he doesn't, because, you know, a white person didn't teach it to him. So apparently, you know, it's not true.
Right.
Which is why he lost in that election.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big fact.
So now he got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, he got to go back to his bag, and this is the only thing that's paying at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
2 of the 5 officers involved in killing this poor young man went through that process in that period of not being required to have the same sort of qualifications that they used to join the Memphis Police Department. So you have a bunch of people being brought in who are poorly trained, who are not qualified to do the job, who end up committing this kind of crime. That has nothing to do with racism and white supremacy. That has everything to do, I think, with perhaps an over-demonized force in general, with a lot of bad apples in it, but over-demonized force leading to many people quitting and being replaced with people just not up to the job.
I think it's, well, everything that you said, I don't disagree with. I think it's not about conflating the two things. It's just about presenting a different perspective, an alternative perspective that should be considered, because internal racism is a real thing, so therefore it should be considered.
You just heard a black man, in a very considered way, say that basically you're talking.
So do you see what go ahead. I know you want to say, go ahead, get it.
Yeah, he's basically trying to call her dumb.
Right.
And that this guy Zuby is smart. That's what he basically, because notice he's not going to combat with him. He's combating with her. Because when he said what he said about the fan, basically it goes back to what I said about how these white supremacists use the sample as a shield. That Zuby guy is a shield for Piers Morgan. So he gonna let Zuby get all those talking points that Piers really wants to say.
Right.
And much like how Jason Whitlock was on Tucker Carlson the other night. Tucker Carlson just sat back and let Jason Whitlock say all of that stuff that he said, and Tucker only gave two little sentences at the beginning and at the end of the segment, and that was it.
Yep.
I said the Sambo doesn't realize how much of a tool they actually are, until they get broken, of course, and then that's when they're going to realize it's too late.
Yep, super facts. Hold on real quick, bro. My screen is froze. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm waiting for this thing to okay, hold on. Here it comes. Hold on. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go.
Nonsense.
No, so
the idea that you.
So I'll ask that. So Zubi, do you believe that internal racism is nonsense? Do you believe that black people cannot internalize racism? Do you believe that?
I don't believe that it's completely impossible.
Okay.
I don't think it's impossible for
you heard that, right?
I don't think it's impossible for a person of any race or ethnicity to harbor hatred or animosity towards people who may look like them or share some things in common. What I completely disagree with is the idea that in every single one of these situations, that no matter what happens, we just jump to white supremacy as the problem. We've seen this happen many, many times.
And I agree with you.
And I think one of the biggest issues with it is, I think one of the biggest issues as well is it's actually a distraction from a very important conversation, which Piers was leaning into there, which is that when it comes to the police in the USA and also in other countries, there's clearly an issue of character, qualifications,
and prejudice.
Training. I don't know exactly. Yeah, and
prejudice is the foundation for all forms of discrimination, including sexism, misogyny, racism.
See, now there she goes. Now she messed up. You see what she did?
When she went into the intersectionality route.
Yeah, she went into the.
She was on the right track, and then she had to slip in that intersectionality feminist talk.
Yep, she got on her
where it was not needed.
Right, she got on her Democrat bag. That's what she did.
And the list goes on. So if you have not dealt with your prejudice within an institution, it will manifest in your racism. That's a fact.
Iman,
that's a fact.
You're talking over.
That's a fact.
I think he's one to talk. Talking about some talking over.
Yeah, I was just about to say, as many times as he cut her off, and here he come. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, well, for one, you're talking over. Like this is, and then again, he's really enjoying watching Zuby and her fight, and like they don't understand that dynamic of him like being the referee. Like this nothing's gonna change as a result of this, but this is just a sport. Like this is equivalent to a basketball game for Piers Morgan and his audience.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's entertained by this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's loving it, and he's also loving the fact that he can tell them what to do and referee this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is
racism, none of which had anything to do with this particular incident.
What are you talking about? I just explained to you internal racism, which is based off of prejudice.
It had nothing to do with why these.
And I said it should be considered. I said it should be considered.
He said it again.
Yeah. Do you see it? Yeah.
He said it again.
Yeah.
He would never. Did he call Derek Chauvin a thug?
He's never called another white man a thug ever.
Okay, well that answers that.
And if you look, they never do that. They never call other white people thugs. Those are words that they have that are reserved
we can
for
get
us.
plenty of examples of when they have been acting real thuggish, as he said.
Facts. Look at Brett Favre. He's a thug.
Ooh. Yeah. What did Piers Morgan have to say about that? Probably nothing. What about Dana White acting like a thug? Oh yeah, and that was recent too. What did he have to say about that? Probably nothing.
Nothing at all. Jerry Jones. Well, that couldn't be any type of racism or anything. Like, this is just again, like, this is just, to me, more evidence of why these kind of conversations with these particular people are just completely unnecessary.
Yeah, that's what I said. Don't even bother.
Yeah. And what triggers them really bad is, like, when they are excluded, they'll start whining about that and call that racism. Well, that's just anti-white racism. I mean, we should be allowed to have
MD said that's a war on white people. So you just not being included in everything is a war on white people.
It's a war on
everything.
Right.
You being in everything is why the world is correct.
Right. Right. Super facts. You know what I'm saying?
Let Zuby finish the point you were making.
Okay. Okay. Even following on from that point, I'd also say this is mind reading as well. So even trying to bring racism into this conversation, let's say these guys did not have guns and badges. Let's say this was just a group of random thugs, 5 black men beating up another black man. Even in that situation, even outside the police force, I've still seen situations where people try to blame this somehow on this specter of white supremacy. And as I've said, frankly, it's embarrassing. And as a black person, I have just as much agency and accountability. Okay. As I said, black people have full responsibility and accountability, just like it would be ridiculous to see a video of white people beating up a white man. There are videos out there of white police beating up white people.
Well, I would also make the point.
Have you seen loads of videos of
I would also, look, if I could just, on that point, I would also
Rob.
Go ahead, bro.
This actually leads into something I was talking about, I think yesterday or something like that. Not with you, though. When he said that there's videos out there of white cops being on white people, then why don't they display them? Not saying that they don't exist, but that goes back to what Whoopi Goldberg said. Maybe there needs to be more videos of those being seen so they can actually see what we see when it happens to us, and how they got mad at her when she said that. Because you don't see it often, and when you do, going back to the Amazing Lucas point, they don't care when it happens to them because it doesn't make the news.
Right.
They only care about ratings. They could care less about them. So I'm gonna need all black people to really understand this. The black people out there that say that we need to be like, when it comes to white people or these other groups that care about each other, newsflash, plot twist, spoiler alert. They don't care about their own. We probably care about more of our own than they do.
Super facts.
Because why didn't the Asian community come out and protest Asian on Asian crime when not one but 2 mass shootings happened last week?
Because
back.
When they out there protesting like that, it's putting more of a magnifying glass on their own degeneracy.
Exactly. And also, the only time they want to come out and say something like that, Charlie Cheon guy did, was when he wants to put out this propaganda that is black people doing all of these things against Asian people. And even then they don't come out because it's not happening.
Right.
At least not in the context that he put it in.
Right.
Trust and believe, there's proximity crime happening all over the place, and not just with us, but they have to label it as black on black crime.
Yep.
They do not care about their own the way that you think they do. The only reason many black people think they do is because they get on code against us. That's as far as their unity goes.
Right.
But outside of that, they are probably fighting like cats and dogs, just like we are on a regular.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
no one bats an eye.
Well, at
this point, it's just considered human nature.
Right. Super facts. Like, another thing that's like not really talked about as far as that AAPI on AAPI crime, that mass shooting that took place, was actually a hate crime within the Asian community, because like, wasn't it 2 different ethnicities of Asians, and there was like some type of it was like Nepalese or anti-Vietnamese or something like that, sentiments or something like that. So that was actually an inter-ethnic hate crime, and it's not talked about like that.
Exactly. And they don't want to talk about, like I did that video about the Romanians who was stealing jewelry from those Asians in San Francisco. And then when they were asking some of the victims, do you want to like press charges? And they was like, nah, we don't want to. Why not? Oh, because they weren't black? Is that what it is?
Right. Exactly.
So I said by you not wanting to press charges, you're basically letting them go and either come back and attack you again or attack somebody else.
Right. And they sure would have attacked. They sure would have pressed charges if they were black. Like that's like
because they have to put out the narrative. Because they have to put out the narrative that it's just us doing it.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
How else did they get that hate crime bill?
Right. Oh, you know what? I actually have a really good stream coming up about that. Because they used that narrative, and then there were other things going on in the background that a lot of people might not have known about financially, because there's always some money behind a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been following that money, and I think I got enough information to where I can do a stream about it. So that's coming pretty soon.
Cool.
That if people genuinely believed it was racism, then given these scenes were as horrific as the George Floyd killing, in my view, no better, no worse. I mean, this went on for a much longer period and was disgusting and abhorrent to watch. Completely innocent guy just getting beaten and then he died. Given that, if it was racism that people genuinely believe was the motivation, we would see the same scenes on the streets of cities all over America that we saw after George Floyd's death. We would see the riots. We would see burning cities. We would see that kind of...
Pause it right quick, Rob.
Yep, I got you.
Is, even the people claiming...
Go ahead, bro.
I bet Piers Morgan would want to see that. That way he can come on his platform and spew more propaganda.
Yeah. Yep. And what
they keep trying to gaslight black people into quote unquote rioting. They notice they always put that out there every time something like this happens. Oh, we got to brace for a riot. We got to brace for an attack. We got to brace for this. Let's call in the National Guard.
If they would have took the kind of precautions that they take against black people on January 6th would have never happened.
And you know what? As crazy as it sounds, I wish something would have popped off after what happened in Monterey Park and Half Moon Bay last week, because they wouldn't have seen it coming.
Right? No, not at all.
Because they don't expect it from them, but they always expect it from us. And yeah, and you're right about January 6th. If they took the proper precaution, because they said the National Guard, they was on standby for like 3 hours. I said by the time they were called in, the damage was already done. People got shot. People done broke things. People done broke in. They done chased some of these politicians into hiding. You had the Capitol Police leading them away from the people they were trying to go after. I'm like, the damage was already done.
Yep. Crazy, man. Like it's just, it's amazing to me how they can just go off of false pretense as if, you know, nobody else sees the illusion or the delusion. Like it's just wild.
Yeah,
it's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to Zuby right here is nauseating. You know what I mean? Like,
this is about racism and white supremacy. They don't believe it. Because if they did believe that, they'd be out on the streets saying it. And they're not.
They are saying it. They are saying it because they do believe it.
But they're not protesting in the same way because in their heart they know it's not racist.
So do you hear Piers Morgan? He said that people aren't protesting because it's not racism. Maybe people aren't protesting because finally people are starting to notice that protesting doesn't work. When people stop protesting, it's the same thing as voting. Like, I can't remember who it was. I think it was TBA. I think TBA said when people stop voting, that's when you need to start being concerned, because that means that people are starting to lose faith in democracy. When people stop protesting, they should start, thinking about what those people are actually thinking about, because now they've changed their behavior. You know what I'm saying?
They might be plotting.
They might be plotting. Exactly.
They said like you said, clearly protesting isn't working because it's not getting anything done. So we need to go to plan B, because plan A has completely fizzled out.
Right. There's clear evidence that, these people like Piers Morgan, making a great example of himself, are not receptive to peaceful or to, coherent conversation. So now that means it's time for, like the military says, quote unquote, other options. You know what I mean?
I agree with you in that. I've always said that I don't subscribe to any type of hypocrisy, right? So if white people are going to kill black people, we should be outraged. If black people kill black people, we should be outraged. So therefore, there are many things that Toby have said that I agree with. There are many things that you have said that I agree with. But what I'm also trying to say is that firstly, this is about abuse of power and a disregard of life. The individual should make sure that they are accountable for.
We can all agree on that.
That's clear. But we also need to take into account that black people internalize racism and they can perpetuate that racism within institutions. That is a fact.
Yeah, I'll tell you what is a fact. This was 5 black police officers killing a black man, not because of racism and white supremacy or because anything a white person had done, but because they actually didn't know how
She's over it.
yeah.
She's over it.
Yeah, she's done. She's done. So here's my thing. Like, anytime I look at a conversation like this is the kind of stonewall that I think about as far as any kind of reparations conversation, which in my opinion is the reason why the extraction method is the best method in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
was this before?
Go ahead.
Was this before the information about Princeton hit pill came out?
It had to be. I'm assuming that it was.
It had to be because there's no mention of him anywhere.
Yeah, and he keeps saying this was 5. Now, when they bring up Princeton Hemphill, now Princeton Hemphill was talking like a thug, right? He said, "I hope they stomp his ass." That's
yeah. Like I think out of like I said, I still haven't watched the clip, but like you can clearly see, one, those are some pale hands, and 2, that you could hear his voice. Like, he was literally instigating this. And wasn't he the one that was tasing him too?
Yeah, he's the one that initiated the tasing. Did he sound like this? I hope they stomp his ass, period. Did he sound like that?
Completely out of control. They behave like a mob, a frenzied mob,
just like,
and they completely lost control.
Because they're thugs as well. When white police beat up black people, they're also thugs as well. Because black people aren't just thugs when they beat up black people.
Yeah, I didn't say
white people can also be perceived as thugs when they beat up black people.
She
got him back with that one.
Yeah, she got him on that. Yeah, because and the thing is like you could see Piers Morgan, you know what I'm saying, because he's so emotional and transparent. He's feeling himself when he's calling.
This man literally wants to say nigga so bad. You can tell it's right there on the tip of his tongue. He's probably saying it in his head. He'll probably say it when he makes sure the mic is off, or when he's in his dressing room, or even when he goes home. He probably most likely won't say it.
I bet you he has to take her out for drinks afterwards. I'm dead serious.
And by the way, can I call you Megan?
right. Yeah, exactly. Can I call you Megan? That's exactly what he probably said to her. She probably was like, disgusting pig, this damn wanker. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's that crazy ass shit.
Be clear when you're
you can keep saying whatever you want. This had nothing to do with racism or white supremacy. And as Zuby rightly said, I actually think it's embarrassing. Black
thugs, though, didn't you?
They were black thugs.
Okay, but you don't call white people.
They were black thugs. Now, and that's interesting because the white people are outraged about Whoopi Goldberg. You know what I'm saying, you know, maybe white people need to experience the same police experience as black people do. White people are outraged at that, but nobody's outraged that he said, they're black thugs. Like, that's interesting.
It's that I'm why not say so kicking in, and it don't matter from where in the globe they are, they're gonna use it.
Facts. And he's in the, like, these are the, like Piers Morgan and them, like those are the originals. He in the
epicenter of it.
Right. Yeah. He's one of the originals. Like, he's OG. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say one more thing here, Piers?
I call white people white. I call white thugs white thugs.
You don't.
Of course I do.
No, he doesn't.
What are you talking about?
There is far more emphasis. This is the reality of media. There is
Can I jump in here?
Final word to Zuby.
Connotations like thugs.
Final word to Zuby.
Can I jump in here? I think that in all of in both the US and in the UK, when we can have these conversations without the words white and black even being brought into the picture, then I think we'll be making some good headway.
So you're offering colorblind,
have some serious
I
conversations.
totally agree. And actually,
he just tried to all lives matter this conversation.
Yeah, he just tried to all lives matter the convo. I think, and the thing is that they want to be able to do that to make white people comfortable.
Right, because that makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
But they'll go out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've already had enough taken from us and we already had altered identity as a result of dealing with them. The little identity that we have left, we don't need to submit that for anything.